Hey, how's it going? Is this thing on? Do you hear me? Do you see me? Let me know. Yeah, I'm trying to stream again. It's been a while. My computer's been acting out, but I made some leaps, so I'm trying again. Yeah. Yeah, definitely let me know if anything looks weird or sounds weird. But otherwise, I see we got our first question by Createism Studio. I need to learn more about making complex actions. Great, that's an awesome question. Shall we get started? Great. Hello, Von Wagner. Are you named? Did you name yourself after composers Vaughan Williams and Wagner? Because fun fact, I know Vaughan Williams's grandchildren. But enough about that. Oh, here's my cat, huh? Check out my cat. She's a good girl. All right. Let's try that. I think I may have lost audio when I went to that other stream, so just stay put for a second. I knew this would happen. Like, who didn't think that would happen? You know? Because me, I knew that would be exactly what would happen. So I'm just trying some stuff. Keep the questions coming, you know. We'll hopefully get to do more than one or two. Why are you so annoying? Why are you doing this to me? Hey, all right. Does that work? Let's go over here. Let's see if this works. Let me know if this works. I'm just checking to see if it works. Go on. Here we go. All right. Okay, I think it works now. So, all right, well, that was fun. Good afternoon, everyone. Tony from Arizona. Hi, Tony from Arizona. What's the weather like in Arizona? And hi, Majan Synchrotron. Yeah, be my eyes and ears. If something stopped working, let me know. I'm gonna keep the chat on this side because it's scary, and all the trauma of live streaming and stuff not working is just coming back. Isn't that awesome? I love it. It's okay. Gonna put the chat right here. And yeah, if it's not working, let me know. So custom actions. Okay. Well, with custom actions, it's always good to first kind of have an example. It's easier that way. So if you have an example, let me know. Otherwise, I can kind of look at something I've done that is kind of fun and not too crazy. Snow on the mountains and it's rainy today. Okay, so pretty much Vancouver style. Let's see. Let's look at this one. I kind of like this one a lot. It's called the quick declick action. And basically the way it works is, I guess I got to bring some audio to show you the way it works. Oh, there we go. We just got some audio right here. So I got some audio and I got to click right here, as you can see. So what I do is, nope, I did the wrong thing. So what I do is this, and then I go bloop, and it declicks the audio. So What's the deal with that? Let's go back one more time. This is our click. So the first thing you do with a custom action, it's like you want to do something, you're trying to do something, and you want some of that to be automated. So before, the custom action era, what I would do is I would see a click, I'd go, oh no, there's a click. I would make a time selection. I would split my track. Then I would right click here and go to developers and go to isotope and bring my declick on here. And then I would open it. And my declick opens with this setting, which I always use. I always use these settings exactly. Random clicks, multiband, frequency skew, nothing, sensitivity almost all the way, and widen the click to 1 millisecond, right? So I would do that, and then once I have that, I would glue the item. That takes too long. Let me figure out a good way to explain my shoe. Oh yeah, please, I'm all ears. So I was doing all of that, and I was like, well, what if I automate that? And if I automate that, I still have to do some of the work. I still have to find the click, and I'd still have to show Reaper where the click is. So I do this bit, and then all the rest I can have custom actions do. So when I want to split this, I hit B, which for me is this action, split selected items at time selection. Then I will come back to this. This action basically puts the declicker on my track. And then I would glue the item, and of course I want to unselect, or I want to remove the time selection, and then I want to hear it. So I don't want my edit cursor here. I want my edit cursor like back here a second, so I can play through and see if the click got better, and hence you get this custom action. So let me read your chat. Do I still have audio? I'm so goddamn paranoid that I'm losing audio. So let me just real quick check that I do have audio. Hey, all right. Okay. All right, we got lots of questions coming through. So while you explain that, let's see what Portwain wants. Hi, my problem that I'm confused with tweaking of crossfades. When I change the edge of a crossfade, it cuts the item instead of change the side of crossfade. I use Pro Tools previously. Okay, let's do this crossfade thing real quick. We got some items right here, and we got a crossfade right here. So the first thing with crossfades to know is that you're just looking at two items that are overlapping, and they got a fade. So this, if I was working across two tracks, is equivalent to this. So if you trim from the sides, you're just trimming your item. And like, how much you can crossfade is dependent on the length of your item. If your item is too short, you can't crossfade for too long. Then there are some modifiers that you may like. So we already looked at these two. I can make the crossfade go towards, or this is just trimming the item. So now I'm trimming the item on the left, trimming the item on the right. On the crossfade itself, I can hold Command, and that does them both. So it's shrinking one, it's trimming back one item and extending the other. I can also hold Shift to keep the length, but move it around. And I can also Command and double click to change the shape. So those are the kind of basics of crossfading. But there's another thing in Reaper that you may enjoy. I have these tiny crossfades here. If I select them all, we also have, that's not working. Crossfade editor, which, I was hitting that. Command, Option, Shift, and F. I was straight up hitting that. But okay, let's do it one more time. Shiblapse. You can edit multiple crossfades together. So you can change the curve. Let me zoom in on one of them so you can see what's happening. You can change one of the curves. Right now they're following each other, but you can also just do it like this. And let's do something weird like this. And this is being applied to all the crossfades. So those are some crossfade questions. Let me know if that answered your question or if I just spoke for a while. When I load tracks, I want them to unselect from the master and route to corresponding bus, Vox, drum, etc. Okay. That's a pretty interesting question. Pretty good question. And the answer to that is, can you make a custom action? Yes, but it's better to make track templates if you ask me. So this is how I deal with this very same issue. So I can insert a track from track template. Where is the thing I want? It's called like 1 bus 8 cents, something like that. Bank of 8 2 cents. Yep, but I use get out of here. Yep, but I use always trim audio when editing, and I think this affects the behavior. I'll get back to you in 1 second. I'm sorry. ADHD Q&A. So let's say we got a template, right? This is our guitar bus. Let's say we got a drum bus, all that stuff. And then let's say you brought a bunch of stuff to your... Let's say you imported a bunch of items to your track and you want them to go to the corresponding stuff. So of course you can make a custom action to change this track to behave how you want it. But I think a much better approach would be if you had created your template already. You got your effects on there. You got the routing set kind of how you like it and whatnot. And then what you do is you make this track, when you make this item, when you import it, just go to this track. So I can call this track like guitar, call this track bass, something like that. And let's also rename these bass.wav. I don't know if you have to say .wav, probably not. And now basically we want tracks with similar names to go to each other. So check out the custom or the action. Tracks name. No. I think I'm going to go track name and I'm going to go item. I feel like I at one point made this action. Move selected items to a track with name. That's not really good. You still have to manually type in what's what. Propagate to similarly named items on track. Set track name. That's pretty good. Okay. MPL move selected items to tracks with names as items. So let's run that. One of them kind of worked. One of them went there. But the bass didn't go there because it's case sensitive, which is kind of annoying. But then that went. So this is kind of like how I like to do it. You may have to do some renaming. But really what's great about this is once you start kind of sticking to a very certain, once you start sticking to a certain naming convention, then everything you do becomes the same. So I always call my guitar tracks capital G, TR. Bass is always like this. Drums is always drums. I call my kicks BD, bass drum. I called my snares SNR. These are always the same. So then when I import stuff, I just use the MPL action to move tracks to similarly named tracks, and then all the routing is done on a track template level versus using a custom action for it. Because that's kind of tough to do. You can do it, but it will take a really long time, and you would have to create one for each type. So you have to make a custom action for guitar, one custom action for drums, if that answers your question. Great video with John Tidy, dynamic duo. More of this. Thank you. I would love to do more videos with John, of course. Sorry, let's quickly do an ADHD break and go back to Port Wayne's questions. Yes, but I always use trim audio when editing, and I think this affects the behavior. And I change the edge of course. Okay, so so do you mean you have trim content behind media items? Trim content. Trim content, no, this is not the one. Trim content behind media items on editing. I've never had this option on, but with this option on, if I go this way, that still works for me. Without that, if I move this item over, this item just gets shortened, right? But if I also have auto crossfade enabled, it just becomes a crossfade. But it is possible that while you edit them, maybe not. Maybe is this your solution? You need to have trim content behind media items enabled, but you also need to have auto crossfades on. Because without auto crossfades on, there's not going to be a crossfade because you're asking Reaper to trim content behind media items. So goodbye that item. And if I split a crossfade still happens, but that is because of this option, which is in media item defaults, overlap and crossfades items when splitting length for me is 2 milliseconds. So if I turn that off for a second, and I hope to remember to turn this back on, and I make a split here, this is what happens. And because I have trim content behind media items enabled, if I move it, it's just getting rid of the items altogether. So I never have this on. I have this on. And did I change something else? I don't think so. And the reason I don't have the trim content behind thing on is because if I'm here and what did I do? Oh, auto crossfade back on. Sorry. If I'm here, I want to trim content behind the media item. All I do is this. So because again, crossfades are represented by the edge of two items. You have to imagine that this is a fade into this item. This is a fade out from this item. So if I want to lose this item, I just tap to this item, select it, and I have a hotkey to trim left or right sides of my media items, which I find to be pretty good. So I hope that answers your question somewhat. Otherwise, just let me know if I'm completely misunderstanding you. Greetings from New Zealand. Hey, PDP, hey, New Zealand. I was just talking to my friend about how much I want to move to New Zealand. That'd be nice. Can you change the grid in the sequencer, not in the MIDI editor? What the hell's the sequencer? Is this the sequencer? The answer is yes, but you gotta let me know what you mean by sequencer. So yeah, let me know what you mean by sequencer gone music. Are you talking about baby something? What is that thing called? Super baby, supercalifragilistic. Oh my god, Kosovo! I've been to Kosovo. I love Kosovo. Hi, audio sound doctor. I was in Pristina. Baby something, right? Flange. Are you talking about this? Talking about this guy? And you want to change the pattern. I've never used this, but I am more than sure that the answer is yes. Oh, those sounds are great. Okay. Okay, so how do we change the grid size of this? I don't know. You would think it would be easy. Let's see what we got here. If this is what you mean, I don't know because I've not used it. But you can always do something like this. Like write your sequence. Let's say this is my sequence. I'm sure there's a more elegant way of doing this, but hey, I don't sequence. And you can just, let's start on the grid, and I can go record out. I'm sure I'm doing this in the dumbest way possible. Could always do something like this. Oh, I didn't wait for a whole measure. Let's do it one more time. Alright. Something like this, and then trim it, and then you can hold Option on the edge of it and double time it. But I don't know, I never used a MIDI baby. Mega Baby. Oh, do I have Mega Baby? Oh, MIDI sequencer Mega Baby. Okay, thank you, Larry. That looked like not good. I like that this commenter though found the one thing I don't know how to, well, there you go. This is pretty good. Steps per beat. So right now there's 4 steps per beat. Can I make this 5? Hell yeah. Talking quintuples and that. Or you can just go, so for 8s you go 8 steps per beat, right? And then can you increase the steps? Yes. Oh, come on, huh? Mega Baby. There you go. A lot of Reaper stuff when it comes to like musical concepts, you gotta kind of do the math on them. It's not giving you those, it's not holding your hand and telling you this is an 8th or a 16th. It's just going steps per beat, right? So every beat is a quarter note. So you want 16ths, you want 8ths, you get 2. You want 16ths, you do 4. You want 30 seconds, you do 8. You want 16th triplets, you do 32 divided, you do 16 times 3 divided by 2, you do 24, right? So you kind of got to do a little bit of the math on that. Yeah, oh, you mean the arranger place, you don't know what to call it. You mean right here, yes. So check this out. My grid size is now a 4th, and now it's bigger, and now it's smaller, and now it's bigger, and now it's smaller, and now it's bigger, and now it's really big. Isn't that nice? So let's see my action for this. Boop. I like this, MPL, adjust arrange grid with the mouse wheel. And so I hold Command and Control, and I move my mouse wheel up and down to change the grid. But if you don't like this, there's another action I also like, and that one is Amalgama set project grid via drop-down menu. So I'm here, I hit my equal sign, and actually I have my equal sign on my mouse, so I can hit it, and then I can choose whatever the hell that I want, and it's that. And whenever else I want to go, I can go 30 seconds or what have you. So that's how you do that. That's 2 ways of doing that anyway. I like them both. Let me know if you hate both of them, and I'll tell you more ways. Oh, I already catch up on the chat. Hey, this has never happened to me. Having to catch up with the chat. Okay, you hear me? That's great. We did this. How do I float and pin real limit and JS loud meter quickly without effects window on the master? Okay, good question. So the voice thing is, Larry, you gotta clarify something, because floating and pinning. Oh, okay, no. I gotcha. So let's first load it up. You got real limit, real limit, let's say, and you got the JS loudness meter. Now the great thing with these 2 things that you mentioned is that they are native to Reaper, so I can right click on them. This is what I like to do. I like to have my, I've never done it with this one, but let's do it with both. So I have my loudness meter floating on my master track, and I can always see it. And you can do the same with the real limit. Pretty handy and nifty, but you want to float it and pin it. And you want to keep that floating and pinning. That's a bit tougher, but I'll show you some options that you may want to explore. Whoa, what did I do with real limit? What do I do with real limit? I'm sorry, real limit, come back. I said come back. Let's open this baby. There we go. And let's just for a moment unembed it. Okay, so we got a real limit floating, and you want to pin this. So pinning just means that it like remains open. So I can go and do other stuff. I can open, for example, a routing window, or I can open my MIDI, the effects on any of my tracks. This remains pinned. But to me, this remains very much still in the way, right? I open this, I don't see a little bit of that, right? So what I like to do is to dock them. If there's something you want to keep visible, but not in your way, right? So for that, you got to actually dock the MIDI or the effects window. Sorry, I'm not using words right. And then this baby you can put anywhere, right? I can put it down here. And, you know, if I have other stuff that I want to show, I can kind of hold command and move it over here. Or I can move it even right there. And then resize this kind of how I like it. To me, it seems like a little bit of a better setup because you always see it, but it's never in the way of other things. However, the benefit to floating versus docking is that I can do this. So let's say I floated real limit, right? And I put it over here. I'm going to put it somewhere really specific, right? And then I closed it. And I went and did some other stuff, did some mixing. I don't want my mixer here, blah, blah. Next time I come back to it, and just to do that, let's do it like this. Next time I float this baby, it floats to the same position. So Reaper remembers, like Pepperidge Farm, it remembers where you put stuff. So if you make a template, you know, you have real limit on your master track. If you make a template and resize it however you want and put it anywhere you want, Reaper will always remember that. So if you want to arrange it somewhere but you don't want to dock it, this is another alternative. But I still maintain that this, embedding it in the UI, especially for Reaper stock stuff, is much better. And now check it out. Like I press play. It's giving me the readings. What is this wet sound? Oh, okay, that's because I imported some audio. Just yeah, so Larry, I hope that answers your question. Otherwise, let me know and ask follow-ups. Wish you come again. Yeah, I wish to come again too. $ gun music. I hope that answered your question. This is getting deep. Going into the preferences is a place I try to avoid. Ticking boxes can lead to weird shenanigans on the front end. Indeed, a Rooney with a side of fries, which is why you do this. Never be scared of fucking around with Reaper. Because what I do is I export my configurations. And I do everything except my language packs. I do my media explorers, but I won't do it right now because they're heavy. And I do my FX chains, and I do these, right? But if you say you want to like fuck around with your preferences and you're not sure, all you need is this top one, right? So in fact, while I normally export everything, one thing I can do is to just export this and save it, and I'll call it my unfuckwithable defaults. Right? And it just very quickly gets done. And now I can go, you know, mess around with all kinds of stuff. I don't even know what I'm ticking. Oh, geez. Oh, man. What? Who's gonna know? Right? And I don't like, you know, I totally just broke my Reaper for all of you to enjoy and apply and hit OK. And then I'm like, oh, no, what did I do? I literally don't remember what I did. But all I can do is go to General, import configuration, my unfuckwithable defaults, hit it. It will require Reaper to restart. but after you restart, everything is Gucci Yama. So don't even worry about it, homie. You know, fuck around all you want, and you'll be fine. Remember that Reaper is more scared of you than you are of it. So, you know, fuck around away. Try to, you know, try to find out like what they do. If you change something that you don't know what it does, test it and then stay there until you know what it does and then change it back if it doesn't do what you think it does. Otherwise you'll forget and things may get weird, but don't let it tell you what to do. That's for sure. Mega Baby. Okay. Yes, Mega Baby is the answer. Every day is a school day. Yeah. Hey man, one problem I have with I hope I didn't leave anything. Yes, I think I need to integrate auto crossfade into my workflow. Maybe it'll be the solution. Yeah, I think that's your ticket. But also, if you want my opinion, don't use the trim content behind media items. It's trouble. That thing is cursed. Unless you do video. Use Mega Baby, we talk about. Okay. Hey man, one problem I have with Reaper. Full screen in MIDI editor, arm a track via the track list, then hit record and it won't record any input unless you record directly into an existing item. Interesting. So let's recreate this. Well, I mean, my first question is right now, right? How do I get into a MIDI editor? There's no way to get into a MIDI editor unless you create a MIDI item, right? Is there another way? Let me know in the chat, but I don't think so. Homeboys and homegirls. So you need an item to get in here to begin with. But okay, you're saying maybe you came over here and you armed and now you want to record and nothing would happen. Can I play? I can play. Cannot record. Okay, so first thing that comes to my mind is what if we made this a global action? Whoop, sorry. Global. Let's see if that works. So I go to the MIDI item, but I'm going here. I don't have an item here. And I press record. Well, I'll be goddamned. Yeah, it doesn't create, wait, oh, it created something. Oh, it did create it. You just don't see it when your MIDI item, where'd my MIDI item go? Whatever. Find it from here. I can't find nothing today. This is like, weird. Oh, there it is. So it did do the thing that I wanted it to. But it wasn't showing me, it wasn't live updating its results. Let's try this one more time. Let's go here. So I made recording a global thing. Oh, is that Mega Baby running? Okay, so all that stuff that I played on measure 1703 were recorded, but as of now, it's not selected, so it's not showing up. So you gotta select it for it to show up, which if I do, there it is. So you're right. It could do that, but it doesn't do it because yeah. Okay, I think I got it. It doesn't show you because each item gets its own MIDI editing window, right? So I can navigate between my items. This is my big item. This is my second item. I got another item right here. I got another item right here. These are all part of my original track. So I need to select them all. What if I do this? Let's try that. So let me just try one more time. So now I'm having all my stuff be viewed. And if I start recording. No, it didn't do it. Later, when this track comes into being, you can select it. But yeah, so what be the solution? I mean, a very easy solution is you're working on a project, hold command on your MIDI track, make the most massive MIDI item that you can think of. Then, this is like 70,000 measures long. You're not gonna, wherever you click, there's gonna be an item there for you to press record and start populating. Or is there? No, it just split it. That's lame. All right. Oh, okay. I know why. If you like that setup, you gotta also do MIDI replace. Hi, baby girl. My cat is crying. Hi, baby love. What's up? Everybody, stop everything. Look at my damn cat. Okay, she's gonna sit on my lap for a while. Nope. She's like, fuck this. I'm a TikTok star. Okay, so sorry, rewind. So you make a big MIDI item, and then wherever and whenever we meant to be together, you press record and start playing. You got an item there, and then when you're done recording, you can always kind of split an item. I don't know, is that a nice way? I don't know. I think the better way is just to trust that it's being recorded and set your record button to be a global button. I can barely hear my piano, so I hope y'all hear it, but it doesn't even matter. And then just trust that the item is there and use this to navigate to different items. So I hope that answers your question. Otherwise, LMK. In other words, it does not create a new item nor expand any existing items. So yeah, so it do that. It just don't show you that, if that makes sense. The MIDI editor being an extra DLL, it's not. It's part of Reaper. It's just oh hey Leandro, how you doing? Is your stream over, Leandro, by the way? Any good strumming tool in Reaper? I used to have Guitar MIDI chord script. It was like chord gun, but with ARP and strumming options. But it seems it's not working now. I'll show you a few things. I like to strum this way. So I get a chord. Let's get a big chord. Let's do a C. And let's make our grid a little bigger. Let's do a C, G, C. One of these, maybe not one of those, and a little spicy ninth there. Do you hear my DAW audio, everybody? Let me know if you do. So one thing that you can do is like this. So check this out. Sploop. Sorry, let me make this guy go away. Yeah. So how I did this, if you like this, is mouse modifier, shibloinks. And we got to go to MIDI, note, and we got to go to left drag. And this one, stretch note positions, ignoring snaps. So I have that set to shift, command, and control. So one more time. I got a chord like this. I can hold this modifier. I'll get this little cursor. Right? So from wherever I drag, it stretches from that angle. So I could also drag like this. I can also drag like this. I can also do it like this. And that's obviously too much, but... Or I can, again, kind of quantize it like that. Right? And if you have multiple... chords, it's a similar shtick, right? So let's maybe do another, maybe let's just make this a good old-fashioned, I don't even know what tonality I'm in, right? You got a few different chords, possibly even, you got a few, like, you got something rhythmic going on or whatever. you can hold them all and you can do the same thing. So that's a kind of native mouse modifier based strummer tool. If you want an effects that basically takes a fully quantized performance and randomly strums it, is there one? Let us know in the comments, but let's check it out. Nope. Not anything called strum, but let's just look at our MIDI effects. Is that all I got? No fucking way. That's all I got. That's whack. Let's check this out. See if we can find anything. MIDI auto engage bit state channel router fluctuation. Oh, but CC fluctuations. We don't want no CC. I don't even know if you can do that with an FX because it has to like take the MIDI notes and delay them by different amounts. Let us know in the chat if there's one. Oh, that's all right, Synchrotron. Thanks for being here. Hi, Mike. Hi, lots of people. Yeah, does anybody know if there's a strum tool in JS? Let us know if you do. Boop, 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 boop. But yeah, the mouse modifier I really like because I can choose what to strum and what not to strum, or strum up and down. And I always like to, you know, I write about 30 minutes of music every 2 years. So I'm not all about that speed. I'm all about that control, you know, like, you know, how often am I doing this? I don't really need a thing to do it and then having to learn to program that thing. I just strum my stuff. You know, you can make a Dr. Dre. Something like that. So let me know if that was helpful. Boo 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 boob. $$ gun music. Oh, Mixed Magic Studios, how you doing? When I put pre-fader metering in Reaper, I want the muted tracks to show metering. Couldn't find a solution. So yes, there's two settings that come in play here though. So you got the meter, you're set to pre-fader metering. I'm pretty sure me too. Pre-fader metering. Can you show me the thing? That's it? I'm pretty okay. Well, it's in the action list too. Pre-fader metering. Okay, so my pre-fader metering is on too, right? So this is pre-fader. I mean, on a MIDI track, it doesn't make too much sense. So let's go to some audio. Right. So I got some audio, and
but let's start.
This is pre-fader metering right now. So if I turn this all the way down, we still see this. But if I mute this, it goes away. And the reason for that is that two settings are in play. And the other setting that's in play is here in audio mute solo. Do not process muted tracks. Muted tracks take no CPU time, etc. So if you want to mute your tracks but still see them in the meter, you need to not do this, because this just, it goes like, if a track is muted, I'm not even going to look at it. But it still needs to process it to a certain degree to show it in the meter. So if you turn this off, oh, the meter still doesn't work. So if I mute it, it just goes away. It's interesting because pre-fader metering. Is the mute button post fader? I tested all of this at one point. Yes, it is. So it is. It's not pre fader. It's post. So this is after this in the chain. I'm gonna put this back because I love this. So I thought it's that, but it's not. It just doesn't process stuff if they're muted. But if you don't mute it and just put the fader to -infinity, which is effectively muting it, you do see it. So I don't know. Don't shoot the messenger. I don't make the rules. I just know them. As it turns out, I didn't in this case. Couldn't find a solution. Yeah, let me know if you found the solution. This is making my commute much more pleasant. Hope everyone's doing well. Hey, that's awesome, Mike. You better be looking at the road, though. Floating effects or any floating scripts will focus the MIDI controller or mouse and keyboard to the GUI. Docked is hit and miss. Agree? Agreed with that. Yeah, agreed. You gotta like be mindful of where you click in life, as well as in Reaper and in love. If you're clicking on stuff, make sure you know what's going on. Hey, is this stream going normally and nothing is breaking? Is there like lip movement, out of syncage? Let me know. I got so immersed into the world of Reaper that I forgot that I haven't done a successful, non-laggy, non-fucked up stream in a while. So real happy about that. Gee. Burahim Youssef. I have old config files. I don't know to append them to my new configuration without overwriting it. Yeah, like with configurations, right? The way I do it is I have a folder that I put everything on, and they are dated. So this is from like August 12th, August 20th of 21, September. Then I didn't really save anything till like March of next year. Again, went 7 months without saving preferences. And this one is from even further back. And actually, this is a wrong naming convention. It's better to put the year so that it sorts alphabetically. So I keep these, and I mean these are not all the ones that I've done. These are the ones that I didn't delete. So I kind of like, if I've done 6 in the past 6 months, I'll keep the oldest one and the newest one, but get rid of the middle ones. But you can always copy these. I also upload these to Google Drive, and then I can just download them anywhere and go import them back in. And actually, while we're here and on this topic, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this because I haven't done it in a while. I don't do language packs. Don't really use the web interface, but that means that just nothing would happen. Yeah, so I mean, you can overwrite it like whatever, you have backups. You have as many backups as you want, so you don't need to worry about it, baby. And have have a configuration that is like a comfortable place for you that you can always be comfortable going back to when you want to do a weird experiment or something. And every once in a while, something does happen that you have to kind of revert back to a configuration that you had maybe 3 months ago, and maybe you lose a couple custom actions. But hey, that's showbiz, baby. What are you gonna do about it? It be how it be. I hope that was relevant to your question, Burahim Youssef. I hope this doesn't crash. If you have MIDI flags or MIDI items which don't extend over the whole length of the project, you can get into the MIDI editor. Oh, okay. Yeah. I just like to have an item. I never looked into other ways of doing it. Just discovered today the navigation window. Yes, then it's called the navigator. And it is right here. I said, usually I can do stuff in the background while exporting my configs, but apparently doing that and streaming, it's just a little bit too much. Look at all this crud. I'm too old for this crud. Is the stream still even working? Am I talking into a wall? Thank you, Joey, for boosting my my clout. Thank you. I really appreciate it. You know, every time on the forums, people are like, "Oh, I need to learn Reaper." Everybody's like, "Oh, watch Kenny Joya, watch John Tidy," which of course, but also, you know, can a brother get a shout out? I'm just very salty. I'm sorry. I want to be one of the peeps. If you have MIDI flags or MIDI items which don't extend over the whole... Yeah, okay, we already told that. Yeah, so Navigator is this guy, if you don't know. And it's kind of like what you see in like Ableton Live and that. You can navigate through a really large project with it pretty easily. This is a small project with not a lot of crap on it. But if we put a bunch of crap on it, right? And I can make this small. And let's say there's just an insane amount of crockery all over the place. And there's like some more over there. And then there's like some more over there, right? Just got a whole heaps of stuff, right? That this is like my full zoom out and I'm not even seeing it. Pay attention that this is like a 9,000 measure long thing that we're doing. So maybe I should actually zoom out and maybe I should actually shrink the size of all of these. Right, but I got items all over the place, items on tap. I can navigate through them this way very quickly, which is kind of nice. So that's the navigator. But I like space more than I like to not be lost, and I never get lost. The navigator is one of my favorites. Best I recall, the first video ever on my channel was about the navigator. Yeah. The navigator, it do be cool. I have an action, speaking of custom actions, which is called Ableton mode. So I hit it and it turns into Ableton. What? I was gonna make a video about this and then somebody, I don't know, I just realized. But yeah, now it looks like Ableton. My tracks are on this side. I got my Media Explorer on this side, and on the Media Explorer, of course, you have effects chains and track templates. Just kind of like Ableton, you can drag stuff to your project, track templates or effects chains or just regular files. And I got my FX browser right here, and I got a navigator, and I got my tracks on this side, so I can just using one action feel like I'm in Ableton. Isn't that cool? You bet your ass it's cool. Probably shot a video about it and then didn't edit it because I'm busy. Hey, look at me, I'm busy. What is my, I think it's called Reaper mode. And then when I'm ready, I go shabloops. I said shabloops, and we're back in business. So if you want to know how to do that, let me know in the chat. You bunch of chatty Cathys. I don't know, I'm going to get so many chatty Cathys in this stream, but I really appreciate it. Thank you for coming. I feel very nice that the stream isn't breaking. Yeah, I want to see, did anybody lose their shit? Oh, thank you. Okay, one dude did lose their shit. Thank you, Maxime. I'll make a video. All I need is time, really. I have a week off, and I'm gonna spend all of it except today on this video that I've been making that's been killing me. I recorded the voiceover. It's 2 hours. Nobody's gonna watch it, but at this point I have to make it. I can't not make it because I've already done 60% of the work, and it's taken a lot like a long time. So I just got to do it. The navigator is one of my favorite. Oh, we already read that. Meow. If I move a click track, I make an Audacity to Reaper. They don't line up with the new beat map I make in Reaper. Not the case with waveform. Clicks I import line up perfectly in that DAW. So not an Audacity expert. I should start by saying that, but let's bring the tempo map. Let's make it visible. So overall, tempo is tempo. 110 beats per minute is 110 beats per minute in any DAW. That never changes. The one thing that does changes is how different DAWs handle a tempo change, right? So if I set my tempo to 120, again, let me zoom in a little more to get to kind of regular stuff, right? So my tempo is 110. Let's say on measure 17, I change my tempo to 120. And we can see that that happens instantaneously. So the tempo is 110, 110, 110. Now it's 120, right? In some DAWs, this may be like not as blocky as this, but I think it is. But most importantly and most crucially, and I have tested this, and please don't make me test it again, is if I do gradually transition tempo to next marker, and then I come here and I go 150, right? Now we get this ramp, right? And this ramp is where different DAWs differ, right? Different DAWs will do this ramp up differently. In Reaper, it's like linear by default, and I think you can change it. No, with MIDI, as you can see, you cannot change it from anything other than linear or square when it comes to tempos. But different DAWs, like I've tested this, if you transition from 120 to 150 in the space of 8 measures, they handle this differently. Some DAWs like kind of launch into it slower and then slow down. Different DAWs calculate this differently, this transition. So that's probably where most of the discrepancy comes along. But if you brought an item, and if only during the ramp ups and downs things are a little bit different, you can always kind of finesse this. And I did a video on this. It's called Tempo Mapping Noob to Goat in Reaper, which you can go check out. So sometimes you may find that like, oh, during my ramp up, it gets to 150 like right here in Audacity, and it gets it here in Reaper, and it gets it here in Pro Tools, and that's because they ramp differently. Grieve different. So that's what it be. Otherwise, I mean, if it's 110, 110 is 110 is 110 is 110 in any place that accepts that a minute is 60 seconds long, and a second is the time it takes for a certain isotope of germanium to decay, which I believe how we currently measure the length of a second. Computers all agree on how long a second is, so BPM is the same in all DAWs for a constant, same rhythm. And if you're like, it's 110 and my DAW is 110, then you're making a mistake. Can't argue with computers. You lose every time. Boo-bo. I hope that answers your question. It ended at 8 UTC. I'm glad to see that your streaming setup is rocking. Me too. I know we don't talk about Fight Club, but have you tried fixed media lanes in the previous? No. As you can see, I'm still on 669. I am excited about this auto muting feature, but I like to let them figure it out. When they're ready to give it to me, I will receive it and I will cherish it for the rest of my life. Can you drag more chords at once? What do you mean? Are you talking about chords? Or are you talking about chords? What chords are we talking here? Can you please clarify? Thank you. audio sound doctor from Kosovo. Man, tell us about tempo mapping for movie score in Reaper. I did that in a video, didn't I? Yeah, I think I did that. It is a vast topic, but you know what? You seem like a nice guy. Do I have any projects I can quickly open? They're on my HDD. They're not on my SDD, so that means it'll take long. But I promise you, Nikith, that I will do this in the next live stream I do. I will bring one of those large projects to my SSD, and I'll show you how I tempo map for film. Promise. Having the floating effects window at a default position. For instance, just having it always centered in a screen. Let's see what our options are. All right. Yeah. So effects chain positioning, you have cascade, you have automatic, you have modal default. So let's look at which ones they be. So let me just put a bunch of effects on a track. Okay, so we got a bunch of tracks that are floating, and in the cascade style. Wait. Oh, this is FX chain positioning. There's also a floating FX positioning. Sorry. So cascade. Let me close all of these. So if you do cascade, this is what it looks like. Why do you not do the thing that I want you to do? It may be because I've already done this. But I didn't already do this. I just brought in the stuff. But okay, let's try one more time. Let's do 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6. And bring them over here. Okay. Yeah. So this is what the cascade looks like. As you can see, I can see the title bar for all of these. And I can click on them, right? And no matter which mode I'm in, as soon as I start to reposition these, when I close them, if I come back to it, they go back to where I left them. Right? So that's always how it be. And then there's automatic. Automatic tries to figure out what's the most kind of space-saving setup that it can do, right? So I can do add selected tracks. Okay. So let's say I want to open the EQ on all these 4 tracks. Automatic does this. In this case, you know, it didn't have enough space to put them all in a nice spot, unfortunately. But it did its darndest. But with like rear comp, as you can see, it's got space. It does all of that automatically. I think this one I had moved already manually. The point is, like, as you can see also, as I'm showing you different ways of doing stuff, they start remembering where they were before. Okay, so with rear comp, Shiplau, I meant Shiplau. And you can see it puts them all in a place so that they're the most visible. So it tries to figure out where to float it. From here, I can do whatever the hell I want to these. So maybe I can put this up here, put this over here, put this over here, and put this over here. And now if I close them and open them again, they open in the same spot. So that's automatic. And then modal default... we gotta delete these tracks just to make Reaper forget how things were done around yonder. And let's add this, and let's bring it over. And modal default is in one position. So now, right now, they are all underneath each other. It's not exactly like the center of the screen, but it's not like not the center of the screen. You feel me? So I guess that's what you want. You want the modal. But do note that when you have multiple things that you float, they all go on top of each other. Like that. It still will remember. So at the moment that I unfloat these and float them back, I said at the moment that I unfloat these and float them back, they come back to where they were. So maybe that's what you want, the modal default. I really like the automatic because 99 times out of 100, the automatic will show me everything I need to see like right away. I don't need to mess with it. Wow, I'm falling behind on the chat, which is a literal first for this channel. Thank you so much for being here. This is fun as fuck. Whoa, I'm really behind. Okay, I can control shift drag automation so I can only move them in one direction. Can I achieve the same thing for copying automation items across tracks, i.e. be guaranteed to snap store item? Yes, sir. I'm so glad you asked. I love when people ask stuff that I know. So the key, I guess, thing to know here is that an automation item is an item, right? In every way. So let's say I want this track to move up and down, but I do not want it to move left and right. So I have a modifier for that. Let's go here. It's media item left drag, and for me it's control. So it's move item vertically. This means not horizontally, right? And if I now go sploop and I create an automation item as suchly and do a little bit of boinks, and let's make it a little fun. Whoopsie doopsie, zeepsie, zoopsie, woinksy doinks kind of thing, right? Now my item, this is just an item. So if I hold, whoa. So if I hold control and move down, oh, I guess, sorry. This has to also be having an automation lane. And hold, oh, will you look at that? It does not do that. Does not behave like an item when it comes to mouse modifiers. So let's investigate. Oh, automation items have their own thing. All right, it's kind of lame. Like, can we just have the same thing for the for both things? And it doesn't even have all the stuff that I wanted it to have. No buenito. So there's got to be a solution. Move automation item contents. This is not what we want. Really what I want is for all the stuff that I have with a regular item, I want to have them on an automation item. Automation item age. That's not good. This is where it is. Move item, just move. You just move. Asshole. All right, so then we need to find a workaround for this, don't we? Let's put it over here. What could be the workaround? I mean, if I move the item with it, then that'll happen. So one thing you could do is to create, so let's bring this over here. You can create a dummy item that's a nothing item, and then move this down, and then this will move down with it. But I'm not a fan of that, are you? I'm not. So what else could we do? I mean, we could do, let's see, can we copy paste? Whoops, whoops, whoops. Where did I go? What did I do? I don't really know. Oh, something's up with my mouse wheel too. So if I like place my edit cursor at the beginning of the automation item and just do the old-fashioned copy and pasting, that works. But yes, the same modifier, like the same modifying abilities of a regular item doesn't apply to automation items. Which, is this lame? Yes, it is lame because, I mean, let's, you know, look at this. We got 16 modifiers we can use. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 goddamn things that we can do. So can we get a little extra stuff going in here. Let's put this in the feature request and everybody upvote it and totally brute force our way into getting really like, yeah, like I would need the moving it in one direction without snap on. So good job. Whoa. Wear gift fresh. Good job. You found a hole. You found it. Good job. Another thing that you can do. Oh no, that won't be as fast. But yeah, I guess Command C, Command V, or make a dummy item. But good catch. FX MIDI glissando, is that a thing? Glycerine aronia MIDI glissando, beautiful. Let's check this out. All right, let's check this out. So let's write a chord. In fact, let's use the gun. Perfect. Now I just wrote every anime ever. And now we want to see what... Oh, I think I put this right on the tempo change. So it made the behavior irregular, spectacular. Let's do a little bit of this, do a little bit of this, do a little bit of this, do a little bit of this. And let's loop this, and let's put the MIDI glissando on this. MIDI channel, polyphony, time. Okay, let's see with the default settings, what happens. Whoa. What? What just happened? Very, very odd. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's just do it. Let's just play with it ourselves. How about that? So I can't see that it does anything. It did this. Okay, so glissando, it's glissandoing between two notes. It's not doing a strumming action. I guess the name would have been a clue. So if I go from G0 to D3, I can put a MIDI glissando on here, and I can go polyphony. I don't know. I think this is like how many steps and how long it takes. So let's also set this to like a higher amount. Maybe let's make it, let's see, we're at 110 BPM. 545 is a quarter note. Alright. Okay. And now, if I were to, oh my god, did I just get paid? And let's see, who, can I get the name of this beautiful gentleman? Maxime, thank you so much. That's so nice of you. Truly appreciate you. Thanks so much. Love it. Thank you. This means a lot. I will, I hope I answered your question to the best of my ability. Thanks. Oh my god. So this time it didn't work. So do the notes need to be right on top of each other for this to work is my next question. So if I put these on top of each other and make them a thing. I mean, I guess suffice it to say that the glissando is not the answer. We want to do like a glissando in time, right? Bring. Instead of like bing, 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 bing. It's like bring. No? I don't know how this panned out here, but somehow this didn't pan. Oh, okay. I think I'm finally beginning to figure this out. Let's do one last one. Let's do zoop, zoop, zoop. Make this long. So we're going from, in fact, I don't think we need this. We're going from G0 to G1. And if I, whoa, the MIDI glissando crashed. Did you see that? And let's just keep the defaults. And yeah. So it just gives us every note from G0 to G1. But somehow also it like has this weird feedback loopiness to it, which I don't know why that's happening. But there you go. Where were we? Okay, retomando. MIDI glissando as interpolation or as drawing chromatically all notes. Yeah. So glissando is exactly, it's like sliding from a note to another note, and in some instruments like the trombone, this will be a purely like method, but in fretted or keyed instruments, obviously you can make a smooth upwards note transition, so it becomes change top chat to live chat. Oh, sorry. Okay. What does that do, Joey? Oh, there we go. Oh my God, thank you so much. That's hugely helpful. I just don't want to also miss questions. Did I go too much? Thank you so much. Good. MIDI glissando, just fan out the given chord, yeah? Video and audio thing looks good. Your voice sounds dark and bassy. Oh, that's probably because I'm using a really old effects chain for when I had a different microphone, or when I was using a different microphone on this. I'll fix that later though. Yes, thank you for clicking the like button. Voice sounds fine to me. Streams fine. Thank you. The Ableton setup looks sick. Oh my God, I'm really behind on the chat. When creating custom action for ripple editing function in Reaper, found below is the workflow for how I have things currently considered. I have my right click drag set to razor edit selection when I use my selection before ripple editing. This also creates a time selection. Custom action, command option, control backspace, set ripple editing per track item, cut selected area of items, set ripple editing off, time selection, remove. Whoa, okay. I love the way this functions. I can ripple edit a single track or all tracks at once, and I'd like to maintain this custom action with an additional feature. The one issue that I'm having is when the ripple editing occurs, the items that are newly butted up against each other create a fade out and fade in. Is there any way for me to add this custom action so that instead of fade out, fade in, it adds a crossfade instead? Sure. This question ended up being a lot easier than how much text there was in it, but I'm just looking for a yes. Crossfade adjacent selected items, move edges of adjacent items. So let's remember the name of this, and I will give you a wee demonstration. So I have auto crossfade, but let's take that off. Let's do this with something with audio so that it's very abundantly clear what's the haps. Okay, so I got these two things, and let's make this real big and nice right here. So adjacent, crossfade adjacent items. You do this happens. And you may think, oh, like everything moved, everything got ruined. But I assure you that nothing got ruined or nothing got affected. Let's look at this closely. All that's happening between these two and these two is that this item gets extended this way. This item gets extended that way. It does it in a way that the cross section of the crossfade that it creates is exactly in the same location as what we had before. And this is a bit long, but you can always make it shorter. And boop, 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 boop. I think the preference to change that, should you want to change that, is command parameters. That's what it is. Is where's crossfade, 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 crossfade. Crossfade, 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 crossfade. What? There's not a crossfade here. There's not a crossfade here. So psych, there's not a crossfade here, but you can always do that manually. And I think earlier in this, or I don't think, I know that earlier in the stream I showed you the crossfade editor. So that should make quick work of that. Crossfade adjacent selected items, move edges of adjacent items. Don't be scared of it moving stuff. It doesn't move stuff. So I hope that answers your question, Rosby Musica. I really like tempo mapping in Logic. Me too, but then when all the other aspects of working with video and Logic are shit. So ultimately I'm a fan of Reaper because video work is easy. And I'm not talking about video editing. I'm just talking about looking at a video while I compose. For me, it's right from the beginning. Right from the start, I'll have to mess around with it again. Thanks for going into it. No worries. Can you do logarithmic exponential temporamps in Reaper? You cannot. So as we saw, I can, regularly, you can change the point shape to Bezier and all sorts of things. But you can't really do that in Reaper unless you actually manually were to calculate that, right? So you can make it, let's say right here, my tempo is 100. And then I can go next measure, my thing is 110. And let's go, right? Like manually just going like, okay, like between these two measures, it's going to be 10 BPM different. Then that's going to be like 30 different. And then that's going to be like 170, right? You manually basically make your stuff faster in stepwise motions. But yeah, unfortunately, while you can draw all sorts of exponential points for other envelope points. In this case, we can't really do it. Oh, in this case, we can't really do it. Fast start. You can even hold control and just make this however you want. But I don't think you can do the same here. Yeah, you can't do it. I don't know if you can do it anywhere, to be honest. 40 effects window position makes sense. You're right, Moro would be my case. I usually need one floating effects window, 95%. Yeah, so and there's your answer. Is there a way to resize your MIDI item in the Docker with keyboard shortcuts? There is a roundabout way of doing that. Yes, sirree, Bob. So the way to do it, let's say I have a MIDI editor. This looks like this. I'm going to go to View, and I'm going to go to Screen Sets and Layouts. And I can save this as a screen set and layout. You know what? Whatever. I will overwrite these because I just now saved the configuration. So I'm not worried at all. So this one we call MIDI full. I may already have that even to show you. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to show you. So I have, for example, the MIDI double screen. Let's load this one. Oh, yes. Because I have a double screen, but right now my second screen isn't connected. This doesn't work so much. So good. But my MIDI editor would be on a second screen and the rest of my stuff is on the other screen. So all the stuff that I dragged would be on my second screen. Right now I don't have one connected. And I would have my MIDI editor window kind of full screened. But then I can go to something like Video MIDI Draw. That's another screen set. Where in this screen set, I have... Oh, why didn't that work? I don't know why that didn't work. I may have overwritten these because it's two. So, okay, let's just overwrite them. So this is one, and we're going to save this as a screen set. I said I'm doing this the lame way just so people know where it is. I'm going to save this as MIDI full screen, and I'm going to close this. And then let's say I want another way. I want another method or another kind of setup where I just have like a smallish version of my media item right here, and maybe I want, you know, I changed the resolution of my screen, so this is why you see some of my stuff being all over the place. And let's say I want a secondary version of this, so I can go to whatever, video MIDI draw, and save over this one. Okay, and you can then go to edit shortcuts, and you can have different window sets loading and saving hotkeys for different kind of workflows. So we have 9 and we got 7. I think those are the ones that I did. So Shift Control F8, Shift Control F9, right? So I can go Shift Control F8, it's full screen. Shift Control F9, it's like that. And so yeah, you got to save screen sets, but you can have kind of different types of workflow that you do. I used to have a lot more than this, but nowadays I have 2 different Reapers for video editing and audio editing. And right now on my audio editing, and I've also reduced my resolution so I can stream. So hence why I can't really show you that feature, but I have a video on that called Screen Sets, so check it out. Would have hoped for a more media item conformant way of handling it, nonetheless it helped me with the workaround. Well, thank you so much. Wow, I pronounced it well. Thank you. Yeah, I think you cracked something in there. Charles DeCilia, thanks so much for 10 euros. Real big appreciation. By the way, we could not hear the output of FX MIDI glissando, if I may speak for us. Sorry. It was also that I think I was out of range. I'm trying to go fast, but yeah, sorry about that. But it's not important. It doesn't do the strumming. It does the glissing. What's the smartest way to quantize multi-track drums to a groove reference? I'm trying to apply the subtle timing and feel from one section to another. Fatlip Studios, you bring up a really good point. This is another thing that would just take me way too long to explain. I gotta go and find, well, I know at least where my projects for drums are. I gotta go find one. But yeah, I will do that in another stream if that's okay, Fatlip Studios. Sorry, it will just take so long. There's so many concepts to explain. But hey, Mike, I don't know if is still here, but Mike has a drum editing course and a few drum editing videos on his channel, which is called Let's Talk About Reaper. So maybe that would be a place to start. I would promise you that I'm making a video, but fuck knows I'm way behind on making videos, hence why I'm doing this. But yeah, sorry, I'm gonna skip over this one. There's so much. Mouse modifiers, media item, loop section, contents. This one is to move the loop section in a longer file, and it's great. But I wanted to script it to a button queued to fixed or grid settings. I think I know what you mean. Okay, so Mentok Mind Truck. Let me know if this is what you mean. All right. Let us start here. I want to just record some stuff. Whoa, hey, what's going on? Something is somewhere that's not supposed to be. Is it the MIDI gliss? Get out of here, MIDI gliss. Sorry. Let's see if that fixed it. Hold up. something has changed here. Hello? All right. Nothing else is record on, right? Only this guy. Why is this happening? There's a loop happening somewhere. It's really weird. All right, fine. You don't even have to do that. Yeah, okay, this works. Somehow when I play, something happens. I'm trying to think what could be the reason. Oh, it's because of this, isn't it? I think this is why. Got another Reaper. And I think that was why. Also, what the hell is this? Oh, I opened the new configuration. Okay, so I think this will no longer do that annoying thing. No, it's still doing it. Why is there something on my guitar bus? Get the hell out of here. Alright. Sorry, everybody. Alright. Okay, so I got something like this. I'm assuming Mentok Mind Reader. Mentok Mind Truck. And you want to kind of take chunks of this and loop it, right? I'm assuming that's what you want to do. Let me know if not. Right, so one thing you can do is make some chops. Chop, 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 chop. And then I'm going to hit the thing that I hit. And now, yeah, each one of these can be looped on its own. Right? And I can do weird, choppy, floppy things to it. The first one I think will have, yeah, it'll have some memory of the beginning. No, that's not what you want. Okay, sorry. Move item, loop station. Okay, explain. Oh, you're referring to audio files. Okay, let's get an audio file. Let's turn this down because that looks hella loud. Boop, 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 boop. All right. So yeah, tell me what the issue is, and maybe I can help with that. My biggest pet peeve in Reaper is the piano roll moving up and down the keyboard easily. What? What, you mean this? Or do you want to do it faster or slower? Explain yourself, Matt McGinnis. Dude, thank you so much. Will the screen sets reset with my projects? No. Screen sets are a global, and you only get 10. Use them wisely. Track views, those are projects. And you can see, actually, it gives, I never noticed this, it gives you the explanation. So Windows screen sets are available in any project. Track views are saved with the current project. And selection sets are the same ways. And layouts is a different one. But yeah, like these you can keep. One thing I have noticed with MIDI items is if I open, excusez-moi. Sorry, I'll be right back. It's my wife. Hello, I'm very busy. Is it important? Yes, 6 p.m. 6:40. 640. Okay. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Love you. All right. Sorry. Yeah. So you get 10 of these. One thing I have noticed is, like, with the ones that have a MIDI editor on them, if I open a new project that has no MIDI items on it and I load the screen set, at the beginning there will be nothing here because there are no MIDI items in the project. But as soon as I open a MIDI item on my project, that will come in, provided that you have, and I should have this, yeah, one MIDI editor per project enabled. So I hope that answers your question. Sorry, I gotta keep resizing this every time I use a screen set. Ciao, is there a way to automate the toggle on off of whatever LFO automation you normally activate with param? Yes. So let's do that. Let's put a REAPER. Doesn't really matter, I guess, but we're trying to rep Reaper around here. Let's make it a little smaller. So loop, 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 boop, 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 and do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that, do a little bit of this, and a little bit of this. And I think you gotta play it for it to be activated one time, right? Or you just gotta play it. You just gotta play for this to be visible, right? Yeah, raising the roof off of this place. And if you want to bypass it, you just click on this. And there is a way of kind of bringing this up a little faster. And that is to do, there's an action for that. Parameter modulation. Show effects parameter modulation for last touched effects parameter. So if you want to bypass it, like let's run it right now. It goes to the last thing that was open, and this is a bypass and unbypass setup. Or let's look at the... Yeah, you can also just bypass it from here. It will remember your settings. But I ain't gonna lie, I wish there was a faster way of accessing it as well. But that's as fast as you can get. Setting a hotkey to Spilibili. Why just why? My modulation stuff, no. I feel like because I have, yeah, I don't get it. I pressed the wrong stuff, doesn't show up. Yeah, the best thing is to set a hotkey to this so you can quickly reference this window, and either here or here, whichever one floats your boat. Yes, Roberto, I hope that answers. Ah, okay. Sorry, I skipped over some comments, but let's do this thing that Mentok Mind Truck is saying. So you have an item and it's looped. And let's say it's looped 4 times, and I can go to the I can go right here. I don't think I have something like that. So let's set, yeah, why not? Option control to adjust this and go okay. Option control. The item edge. Left drag. Why is it not letting me do that? Maybe edge is bad. What are you saying to do? Media item. Okay. Let's do just media item, left drag. I'm full, but that's fine. Let's do option control. Move item loop section contents, left drag. All right. So I set it to option control. Okay, it does this. All right. And now what you want to do Now what you want to do is you want it scripted to a button. So the short of it is you can't. And I'll tell you why you can't do this. It's because mouse modifiers and action. So mouse modifiers can't be set to actions because a mouse modifier, like you see something like this, right? This is not an action because one thing isn't happening. Two things can possibly happen. I can take this item and I can go this way and I'm shifting stuff to the left, and I can go this way and I'm shifting stuff to the right. So one button can't do the job of a mouse modifier. A mouse modifier is a continuously happening thingamabob, right? So you can't really set it to a button. Could you set it to a knob? Definitely, yes. If you look for loop contents, gotta be... Yeah, you can do something like media left drag to this. So I can set this up, and now my media item left drag does this. And then I can go up. Where's the default? Gotta look at the default. Oh, there's the word default in there, so you gotta really look at it, 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 look at it. There you go, factory default. So you go, yeah, I guess, yeah. Go factory. And here it is. And now my behavior is regular. So I guess best you can do is to make a toggle. So let's make a toggle. Go to extensions. You will later slow these down and follow along if you need to slow them down. Got a lot of questions to sizzle through. Let's make a new guy. Add cycle action. And we will call this move loop contents tool. And then we do need this. And we need a step between these. Okay, and we can... Why are all these really big? That's because I changed my resolution. And then I hit apply. And I can make this a toggle right here. And hit apply. So now I have an action. It's all normal. Make a few choppy choppies. Run this. Now I can just use left click to do the same shtick. So that's kind of nice. And then I think another thing you may... Problem is to have stick to fixed measures like 16th or 8th or so on. Isn't there one modifier here that does that with while also snapping? Yeah, so just adjust doesn't ignore snap. As you can see, it's doing it in increments of my grid, and if I change my grid, it's doing it finer. And if I really make my grid big, you can see that it is respecting grid. So I hope that kind of answered your question. I know I skipped some stuff up here. No worries, Raspy Musica. Let me know, Mentok, if that did it. Do you know if it's possible to set up retroactive recording that will be as smart as it is in Ableton? Because right now it's just recording everything, and when you try to improvise in loop mode, it's bad. What do you mean by bad? I mean, retroactive recording records when nothing is being played. i.e. when your project isn't playing. If your project is playing, turn on your metronome, start recording, record to your beat, right? Retroactive, the point of retroactive is, let's say I'm just fiddling and I'm not even I'm not even playing the project, so I'm not recording anything, and I go, oh, that riff was sick. I bring it up. Like, of course, this will not be to a grid because no grid was even playing when I put it on. But it did preserve my timing. So I don't know. And this, as you can see, has been recording its whole life. So this is a bunch of crap that was before. Is this the last thing I did? Where is the last thing I did? Maybe it's here. Why is? Oh, okay. It's not on the right track. Oh, I'm on the move loop content tool mode. Again, go up here. I don't know where it went. But the point is, the retroactive works when I'm not playing. Right? And then I bring it in. For some reason, this is malfunctioning. I have the previous version. Or like the MPL version, which is now obsolete because Reaper has its own retroactive. But yeah, there's no grid to adhere to with retrospective recording. Otherwise, you'd just be recording, right? If I'm regularly recording, turn on the metronome. Right, and play along and then fix your thing, right? Does that answer your question? Maybe I'm not sure what you mean by bad. Hello, Steen. No worries, Roberto. Is there a custom action you know of to make copy paste with Razor editing mimic copy paste in Ableton Audition in Adobe Audition editor mode? More for voiceover, especially audiobook editing. I'm not sure. I've never used Adobe Audition, so you gotta elaborate on how copy pasting works there. I'm sure we can figure it out. Thanks, Steen. What algorithm do you recommend for changing the key of a song? Whole song. All right, let's try. Whole song. By changing the key, do you mean transposing it or completely shifting it? Like, are you talking about when they make like Nothing Else Matters by Metallica be in a major key? Or are you talking about transposing the key of a song? Totes, different goats. Let's see. I'm just going to use one of my songs so I don't get copy pasted for it. But copy pasted? The fuck am I talking about? But you know, I'm not trying to like flex. You dig? I mean, what flex are you, you asshole? Nobody listens to your shit. You fucking idiot. Yeah. So I'm not saying like, ooh, blah, blah, blah. I'm just trying to not get demonetized over here. Where the fuck is my music? Oh, I think it's over here. And it's probably over here. And I was just there. It wasn't there. Is it over here? Yep, sorry. And I think I got some finished stuff right here. Okay. All right. I'm going to turn it down 6 dB so that it's 6 dB quieter, so that it's not too loud. Let's put it on a new track too. And why is all this crap up here? Yeah, it's made me really mess up my whole Reaper. That's all right. We got a configuration. Okay, so changing the whole key of the song. And you're asking what I would recommend. So for individual parts, right? Like I know if I'm doing drums, right? I know what's my go-to is, and in that case, it would be 3.3 soloist. Sorry, 3.3 Pro. And I would go, usually with drums and stuff, I would go lower pitches. If I'm doing like vocals, I would go soloist, monophonic. If I'm doing any kind of solo instrument that is playing monophonic, soloist, monophonic. And then I can do stuff like go to pro, go to preserve low pitches, and then make it like transient optimized for percussive stuff or slap bass, but make it tonal optimized for, let's say, choirs or strings. So that's for individual instruments. For non-individual instruments, I'm still tempted to just go with pro, and I'm tempted to go with most pitches, and I am tempted to go with balanced. So let's hit apply, and let's adjust this to -2, something like that. Let's see how that sounds. So far, not too bad. Let's change the pitch to like +3. Sorry. That's remarkably good. That is remarkably good. Like, it's not sounding like a baby.
Let's get the fuck out of here. And we'll
But obviously, once you go a little extreme, it's not going to sound good. Still not broken, but let's go to the end. Now it's broken. Just to compare with the original. And if you go up with 2. So yeah, within a couple of semitones, this is pretty good. 3.3 Pro, preserving most of the pitches and balance. And I mean, per your song, you know, you may find like, oh, transient optimized a little better. Not bad. But if you then, so now, if you're talking about changing the key from like a major to a minor, so this song is in C sharp minor. I have a free, nope, not you, get out of here. I have a free plugin that I could recommend. I've not tried it on a whole ass song. Well, let's try it on a whole ass song. Let's go like this. And the key is C sharp minor. And this doesn't exactly like majorify stuff. But we can go to the second harmony and let's see what the results of this is. No, it doesn't do polyphonic. It's really good for monophonic. Polyphonic stuff breaks this. There is a stereo. I mean, let's see if that. What? No. No, it's just yeah. Yeah, this breaks with polyphonic, so never mind. But yeah, Elastic 3.3 Pro, most pitches. Experiment from there. Yes, but it usually misbehaves depending on what snap settings one uses by a sound. Yeah, it could misbehave. I ain't gonna lie to you. My dog. Things tend to misbehave sometimes. What are my thoughts on Ableton Live? I love using the session view in Ableton and the ideas view in Machine for coming up with ideas. I wish Reaper had something similar. Do you ever use Playtime? I don't have Playtime, but Playtime looks tremendous. I love Ableton Live. As you can see, I got one right here. And yeah, like I totally agree that that type of songwriting is its own thing and it's pretty cool. I really like Ableton. All their stock plugins are pretty good. Lots of sounds that are remarkably good. Yeah, love Ableton. Don't like its video capabilities. Don't like its routing functions. Don't like that you more or less have a limited number of sends and returns. Like when it comes to track routing, I mean, nothing gets close to Reaper, obviously. But yeah, as a songwriting tool, as a way of like getting your ideas down, love Ableton to death. Is there an action organizer or anything that can help in locating seemingly simple actions? Yeah, absolutely, Adam Presti. A few things. This is your action list. This is all you need to find stuff. So you can go like item tracks, right? And you can search for stuff that you want and you go through them. Over time, you will kind of remember their names and stuff like that. You can also sort by shortcut and then look at your shortcuts first and then look at stuff that you don't have a shortcut for. And then you got command IDs and stuff. And now, as I'm saying that, I'm thinking maybe you mean something like a way of favoriting an action, right? That you don't want to set a hotkey to. So I really like this action. I want to use it later. There's not a native way of doing that, but I mean, you could add them to a toolbar. Or is it Shift F1? Or something like that. Shift F1 or F2 or Shift F2. There's a thing in Reaper that shows you everything. Reaper, what is it called? Action list. Not show action list. There's a thing that prints every action that you have, but I remember it being an F1 based action. So I guess let's go that way. I will find this with the Lord as my witness. Numpad F1. Yes, it was Shift and F1. I kept pressing it. It kept not working. I don't know what's going on. And so you press Shift and F1 and you get this. This is a website, this is a webpage that is generated not for Reaper. It's based on my stuff. And it gives me a list of all my... it gives me a list of everything that I have set a shortcut to. So I can copy this to an Excel sheet and kind of work with it that way. But I always said it also gives you unassigned actions. It does not. So that's out. Yeah, so I think the best thing to do is customize menus and toolbars. Grab a toolbar that you're not using. I'm using now all my toolbars. But maybe not my toolbar 11. Oh no, I'm totally using my toolbar 11. I'm using that one. Fuckaroo. I'm using all of them. But whatever. Okay, let's say let's grab this one. I don't even need this one anymore. You have a toolbar and you can open it. And you can go here. And then you go to your action list and you look for actions that you want to later kind of check out or whatever. And you can add them to this toolbar. right? Oh, I love this. What? Oh, one. Right. And then later you go to this toolbar and this is like your favorites. My favorite actions. Kind of have it as an archive of stuff. You don't need to even have it open. You just have it somewhere and then you go later and you reference it. This would be something great for Tormy Van Cool. Go look at his YouTube because he's really good at Python scripting. So for him, it would be really easy to get a list of all your unused actions, generate an Excel sheet from it, and then add a favorites column next to it. They can tick the shit you want to check out later. It will be a little bit external to the program, but it'll be all right. Cool. That is one trend. Oh, that's really good. Yeah. Thank you. I try to be clever. Yeah, no worries. And I think we should wrap this up. It's been 2 hours. I just want to test my stream. So thanks for being with me. We will do more of these. I know there were a couple of things that look at my legs. There were a couple of things that were too long to answer. Like one of them was showing the tempo mapping in a video workflow for like songwriting for film. So I will do that. And I will do also the multi-track drum groove, quantization to a groove. Both of those take a long time. You're probably not going to like the results if you're coming from Pro Tools and you're used to like Beat Detective and shit. But you got to do what you got to do. Otherwisely, thank you, Leandra. Thank you all for being here. This was a lot of fun. I thought I'm going to do half an hour. I thought nobody would ask any questions, but a lot of people asked questions. That was fun. And sorry if my bass was a little bassy. I dialed in my effects chain and stuff. There's my cat. And I will see all of you later. Take care of yourselves. And thanks for the donations that we got from Maxime and from Charles. Thank you so much. I don't know what to say. I mean, why would you pay me money where you can buy like a Netflix subscription with that? But I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Adios, everybody. I said...